Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of the Rush Hour podcast. We have a pretty crazy video right here for you regarding Blake Lively, I guess, stealing the movie. Proof is hard to find, and in this case, it came out of her mouth. Now, we've been kind of looking at this for a few days now. Someone on Instagram sent me and tagged me in this clip I'm going to share with you. I cannot find the source material of this clip, and what I mean by that is it might be on YouTube, it might have been deleted. This for sure will be used by Justin Baldoni as motive to prove Blake Lively wanted control of the movie, so much so she had to steal the hard drive to go screen it at an event. And what do they say? It's better to apologize than ask permission. Well, in this case, I don't think she had permission, and I don't even think she apologized. It's just she took it. Hey, I got my hand on it. Let's go. So we're going to dive into this. And actually, the more I uncover from this video I'm going to share with you, the more I continue to uncover. This was sent to me from Without a Crystal Ball on Instagram. Thank you so much. Blake Lively stole a rough cut of the movie and showed it at Colleen Hoover's BookCon without permission from the studio. I'm going to share this with you right now. First things first, and then I'm going to go through the complaints and the timeline where you can hear them talking about this BookCon event. Then I'm going to show you part one and part two, at least a slice of this conversation. I don't know. I could be missing it. I've looked through all of the transcripts, and I cannot find a copy of this video right here on the source material. Now, you can do what's called like a little bit of a dirty delete in the YouTube world. Here it is. If you take a YouTube video, you can go, when you're the creator, you can go into the editor section and clip out just about anything you want without getting rid of that video. Now, I'm sure in the back end, there's some metadata. You know me, metadata Dave. I'm sure there's a way to have proof of edits that were made, but to the viewer, you're just gonna see a random video. You're not gonna know if there was a moment cut out. So you can cut out a 7-second thing here or a 3-minute thing there. I don't know if that happened. I'm not accusing them right now of deleting this clip. I'm just letting you know in the work that I did to bring this to you, I couldn't find it from the source. So we're going to go to it from Without a Crystal Ball, sharing it right here. So let's have a listen to Blake Lively at Book Bonanza admitting to stealing the film to show to them, and I'll kind of break down why this is sort of a really bad idea.
Brandon hasn't seen it, so we're gonna sit through it.
But
and
listen,
just know, it's literally, this is not a bit. It's literally not done. So to be honest, what really happened is we were like, we're gonna show the movie, and the studio was like, no, you're gonna show 20 minutes. So we're like, no, we're gonna show the movie. And they're like, it's not done. And I was like, they don't fucking care.
All right, so there it is. And by the way, Blake Lively, I'm going to compliment her a few times. Oh, don't get all upset. Dave's on Team Blake. I'm going to compliment her. She has the itch that works well with comedy, which is you have to say what you're thinking, but that itch works against her while she's incriminating herself. So she goes, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. And it's like, hello, you're online now. You're on Candid Camera for my boomers out there. Let's keep on going.
They're like, if everything's not perfect and it's not done, and what if we're going to change things? I was like, these are the people who authored the success of the book. Like, you guys are what matter, and like you guys seeing the movie is like so important to us. So.
Now, but this is a terrible idea for so many reasons. If the movie's not done, it might not hit the tone you want and it's not a test audience. In a test audience, you sign who's going to be there. If something leaks out, no cameras. It's very, very secured. In this clip, I mean, imagine if someone got a copy of something that wasn't done and it went viral and everyone thought the movie sucked. I mean, there's a lot of ways this can go wrong and almost no ways in which this can go right. But Blake, like anybody who gets a new gift, wants to wear it. You ever have Christmas, you get a new gift, you're like, I gotta wear that right now. She's so excited, she's got the dopamine, and she says, I want to share it. I get that idea. This is why the studio comes in and says, no, you can't do this.
It is an early cut, and we're so excited, and busing 2,000 people to a movie theater sounds like a chaotic nightmare. So I just need you all to be excited and patient. This is a huge honor. this early,
I didn't
so
really have
we
an
want it
option.
to go
I literally
well.
brought the movie with me on the airplane. Like I have like a folder with like a disc, like a hard drive.
I love it. Yes.
No, yeah, it's and the other thing is I have the cutest jeans ever that I'm wearing tomorrow night. Also not sponsored, but they're really, really cute, and they've got flowers on them, and they're cut out. And then Colleen saw my jeans, and then she was inspired because she loves me, and she got these cute flower jeans, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be jean influencers. So we're gonna.
I don't mind it. You know, I don't mind. Yeah. So she wants to wear $19,000 jeans, you know, don't mind it. In fact, I kind of think Blake has moments where she's funny. You know, there's going to be a section of people that's not going to want to admit it because some people, they go, no, she's so bad. She's a great actress. She's very beautiful in a very unique way. She's got very strong, beautiful features, and there are good aspects to her. That's what makes it all the more interesting to go into how this went wrong, because it's not like she's somebody who's just this monster from the outside. And no, something happened that went from great actor, great charisma to I'm going to get control of that film. That's the interesting part. And I'm not going to be here with you guys and deny the fact that, hey, she was a huge get for the movie, which is why she got paid $3 million and they all got paid $250,000. She got paid 10x everyone else because she's a huge get. Whether people say, oh, she's not really an A-lister, trust me, I'll show you what a B-lister looks like. You'll be like, who? And I'll be like, exactly. The fact that you know her name, right? So that's what she said. Stick around, and I'm going to share some other moments where Colleen Hoover absolutely obliterates Blake Lively. It's all in good fun, but when you roast people in good fun, ooh, you are a second away from making an enemy. It's a tight needle to thread. So stick around for that. We're going to get to that, trust me. But I wanted to get through the different complaints that mention this. So we start off with page 87. This is the first email that mentions Book Bonanza. Hey, Jamie. This is to Jamie, of course. He's one of the main members of the Wayfarer production. We had a very successful weekend at Book Bonanza, and the fans loved the book art displayed at the event. We would like to release this art as our second teaser poster for domestic distribution. Since it has already been released internationally in many markets, it only makes sense to use it domestically as well. We'd love to start printing tomorrow to get into theaters. However, this version does not have Justin's A Film By credit, so we would need to waive that. Please let me know if this is approved. Oh boy. So this is the first time that, or this is the first time we see here that Sony executives are willing to get Justin's fingerprint off of the title here, and that's just ridiculous. So here we go here. Over Sony's objection, Lively insisted on screening her cut at Book Bonanza. So Sony objects. Colleen Hoover's annual convention hosting authors and fans from around the world, an event that Baldoni had long been excited to attend. But Sony made it known to Wayfarer that per Lively, Baldoni could not attend, notwithstanding the obvious promotional and PR risks. Lively appeared on a panel alongside Hoover and other cast members, icing out Baldoni from this critical event for his own film. He was not even allowed to review the final cut before it was shown. The very interesting stuff comes out in the timeline of relevant events on April 17th, 2024. Sony Marketing and Baldoni coordinate efforts to have Baldoni attend Book Bonanza and show audiences a surprise early screening of the film. So they were prepared to head there, Justin, and again, as the sort of like producer, director, speak with Blake, you know, do all of this. And that's where things really started to go south, where they learned that that's just not going to happen. So we move over to, so we see all of the kind of screenshots of the emails. We heard that you love the idea of trying to screen the movie in Book Bonanza. We love it too. So everyone's on board. Sony's on board. Justin's on board. I don't think Blake's on board. That's not going to work for her. So we go over to page 78 and we see more about the kind of what's going down at Book Bonanza. So they do an official test screening of Baldoni's cut. His film score is 94%. Her version score is something like in the 80s. And then they quickly realize like, oh boy, we incorporate some more of his stuff. But she wants to use Book Bonanza as a way to showcase her version. I mean, it's not a traditional test audience, and that's the problem that you have, because it's not like you know these people aren't vetted. They you know, as far as everyone's opinion matters, but like, if they're just there as Book Bonanza fans, it could actually be a skewed audience. You kind of want to know how it's going to do in that demographic, women 35 and under, but not necessarily the demographic that's flying to Book Bonanza. So it can be valuable information, but it can also be, absolutely not. So Wayfair is informed through Sony that Lively, emboldened by the feedback she received from her friends and family screening, demanded an official audience test screening of her version of the film. In light of Lively's threat to withhold promotion of the film, as well as her barely veiled threat to end Baldoni's career with a slew of false accusations, the studio reluctantly agreed to do an official audience test of both versions, again at Wayfair and Sony's expense. The decision was made on the understanding that Lively had agreed with Sony that if Baldoni could finish the film, that if Baldoni's director's cut tested higher, she would drop the matter and fully cooperate so that Baldoni could finish the film without further interference. Again, that's so fair. Here, you got your version, he has his. We'll run it through the same screening process. His version tested 12 points higher. He scored a 94% on the coveted women 35 and under. She scored an 82%. In fact, I think they actually say that her version did well with older men because maybe her version was more sexualized or more beautiful than what the film was intending to be. So on page 80, you see that the proof is right there, and they're going to have all of the evidence. They showed it, the different, scores. It's right out in the open. So I wanted to share with you guys an interesting clip here. And again, what does this mean? What does this mean for Justin's case? Because it's kind of complicated. She took the film to share it, physically took the film, stole the film, had the hard drive. Now, did she break in and steal it? No, but they were against her doing it. So, call it what you want. She admits to it. And then how is this motivation for Justin's case to prove that she kind of was coordinating all these attacks against him? Well, it shows a multi-pronged effort, right? It shows that on one end, she's using leverage for accusations she can make against him. And again, if she ever provides proof of that, none of this matters. If she provides proof of the harassment, clear cut, none of this matters. For those that argue, well, he went too far during the scene, we have no evidence of that whatsoever. None. But we'll take a look at it. So it's a multi-pronged effort. She's got the sexual harassment claims looming over his head. Play ball with me or this will come out. And then she's just got the physical proof of her taking it away from his editors, taking it away from the producers, and basically saying it's my way or the highway. Here's an actual interesting part. Let's cleanse the palate here, where I actually found this to be very funny, so long as Colleen and Blake stay friends. Have a listen.
Characters are a little bit older than they are in the book.
What? I'm not 19? You guys, I'm going to go to therapy after this panel.
Can you kind of explain to Blake that decision?
Yeah, so we wanted something that would appeal to senior citizens, so we chose Blake.
It's a good line. Hey, it's a good line. Credit where it's due. Now, as long as they're friends, this is fine. If they get to a place where Blake and Colleen no longer want to work together, there has been blind gossip, and by that I mean not vetted whatsoever, that Colleen has plans to sue Blake. Who the hell knows what else might have gone on behind the scenes? But right here, they're on the same page. And you could argue, if you're on Blake's team or camp, that she feels as though she has a right to coordinate with Colleen because she wrote the initial project. But that's not how contracts work. Contracts work where Justin Baldoni has the rights to the film. The film adaptation is never the same as the book. You cannot translate a book to film as is. You have to get rid of a bunch of things because it takes a lot more time. For every page in a book, it can be literal, so much can happen versus in a movie, 1 page equals 1 minute, generally. 100-page script, 100 minutes, generally. That can obviously change a lot. So when people say, oh, I liked the book so much better, it's like, yeah, no, of course, because your brain and your imagination are able to take things to a whole new level in a book that doesn't happen on a visual medium like a movie. So they shared a few interesting parts here, talking about why she wanted to have Taylor Swift be a part of the film.
Taylor song.
Any Taylor song, yeah. Like, it was hard when we're looking at music for the movie. They're like, what song should we put here? And I was like, oh, I only have Taylor. Like, I only have her songs on my playlist. And like, wouldn't that be cool if just the whole movie was her? Like, it's like a concert.
Oh my God, jukebox musical.
Like, It Ends With Us, Taylor's version. Like, yes. Like, if it were up to
It
me,
is with us,
this is what
it's
you
not a
guys would get.
musical.
Like, yeah. So yeah.
She's like, if it were up to me, and turns out it is. No, now listen. So if you're Justin Baldoni and you've got this baby and you've nourished the baby and it hasn't had any chocolates or sugar or screen time and you want it to be a certain way, then Blake comes along and just gives your baby an ice cream sandwich and 3 seasons of Jersey Shore. You're like, oh my gosh, you've ruined my baby. So again, it's not about putting Taylor Swift music in it because you like it. It's about what's the tone of the film, right? So they actually discuss Justin Baldoni briefly here, which I found interesting because, at this point, audiences didn't know there was any beef between them.
Let's talk about the guys. What was that casting process like, and what makes Justin the perfect Ryle, and what made Brandon the perfect Atlas?
Oh, that's so hard. They both did so good
they're so
in their
good in this movie.
roles. Yeah. When Justin said he wanted to play Ryle,
So that might be the best acting yet when Blake says they did so good in this movie. Also, not to be missed, Colleen says when Justin wanted to play Ryle, the evidence shows that she wanted him to play Ryle. Now, why does that matter? We're going to get into that in a different video. There's too much to cover here. But one more time, let's watch Blake sell her appreciation for Justin.
that's so hard. They both did so good
they're so
in their
good in this
roles.
movie.
Yeah.
Perfect Ryle, and what
more
made
time.
Brandon the perfect Atlas?
Oh, that's so hard. They both did so good
they're so
in their
good in this
roles.
movie.
All right, so there it is. So again, there's a lot here as far as her stealing the movie. I promised you I got one more clip for you. But, would she be charged with a crime? No, this is one of those things. It's like you let people get away with things. So Sony producers, the executives, they let her get it. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Send her anything they do is bad publicity. She's got them by the Hollywood balls. That's where she had them. All right, our last clip here, which I'll share again in another video Vegemite Toast posted, how gracious Justin Baldoni was with Colleen Hoover. It must have been a gut punch to hear this take.
So, to give you more credit, she walked out of the theater and was like, whoa, this is going to be good. But here's what we need to do to make it the best. And, she was super involved in, the film being done to actually the film being what you guys are going to see. And she really, as the author of this story initially, authored, a lot of, shaping. Once it was done, once it was made, really shaping what we had to
fine-tuning.
feel like it was the best version it could be.
And that's all thanks to Blake. You've been so collaborative. I just can't even explain to you what the last few weeks have meant to me. I'm, going to be nice right now, but then I'll go back to being, myself. But honestly, as an author, just the fact that Blake fought for my voice to be heard, I just can't even tell you what you hope Blake Lively is. She's that and a million times.
So,
Wow. So she says Blake Lively fought for her voice to be heard. It's interesting because fought with who or with whom? And it looks like that would be Justin. Now, again, Colleen Hoover signed over the rights to the movie. I don't know what sort of clauses there are for having Colleen Hoover get any say in the directorial of the movie. I don't think there is. I think you kind of sign it over and you're kind of done. It's like you trust that person with your story and then you're done. So for Blake to champion Colleen by saying, hey, I fought for her to get her say, was Blake using Colleen as sort of a lead blocker there to say, no, I need Colleen to get her say, but what it really was is Blake, it seems as though if you could go back in time a few years, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds should have taken their big Mint Mobile money and bought the freaking rights to the film, and none of this would have been a problem. Then she can direct it herself and do this. The problem is that's not how it works, and that wasn't fair. So again, I see this the text messages from Blake and from Ryan Reynolds saying, oh, she's got so much creative energy. Well, put your money where your mouth is. Go buy her a project to go direct. You know what I mean? You got ungodly amounts of money. Just go buy her a project to direct. This wasn't it, and now we're seeing the consequences of that. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to have more coming with these lies Colleen told. I mean, it's so bizarre as we pick through some of these lies, why it would be so important to not just share the truth. So again, boy, in hindsight, not looking good for them. We'll have more coming your way. Stick around for the afternoon rush. Scan that QR code to listen on Apple Podcasts. Otherwise, we'll have it for you right here. I'm Dave Neal. We'll see you.